Hey YouTube! Today I will show you how I capture an entire street from Manchester and turn it into a game. It's a real location, I didn't model or texture anything. Instead, I used a 360 camera to capture multiple angles of the street, and with the Gaussian Splatting, I converted those images into a 3D model. The best part is that the entire process is for free. If you have a 360 camera, you're good to go. You can capture any locations you want, bring it inside Unreal Engine, and start creating your own game. Let's cut the bullshit and dive straight into it. For this video, I used the Insta360 1x2. The great thing about it is that it records in 5.7K resolution, which gives you a solid detail for this kind of workflow. Now that you have the kit ready, it's time to choose the best location. After a bit of research, I found Carter Street. It honestly looks like a film set, so I went there and started recording straight away. A few tips: try to avoid places with loads of people walking around, as they can cause issue in the final result. And when you're capturing, don't just walk in a straight line. Move around, do a few passes, go left and right, even zigzag across the street. This helps you cover the whole area properly, so later on when you're moving your character from one side to another, everything is fully captured. As soon as I captured the entire street, I went straight back to the computer and start processing the files. If you're using Insta360, you have access to Insta360 Studio. It's a software that lets you preview, trim, edit, and export your footage before you moving to the next stage. To be honest, I didn't have to change anything here because I knew from the beginning what I want to shoot and there was no interruption. But if you do need to adjust your clip, you can easily trim it using the mark in and mark out points. It's super simple to use. Once you're happy with everything, just hit the yellow export button. This window will pop up, and here you need to make sure you switch to the export settings to 360 video. Then choose the location on your computer where you want to save the file and hit export. While we are waiting for the export, it's time to mention today's sponsor, Thank You AI. Basically, it's an all-in-one AI creative platform. Instead of using multiple tools for editing images, videos, and audio, everything can be found on one website. They've got a full toolkit for editing images, text to image, relighting, and in painting, perfect for thumbnails and product visuals. Then there's the fun part, video generations, where you can get access to models like Kling AI, Hailu 1.2.6 and Veo 3, with features like text to video, image to video, and even video references. Audio is fully covered with text to speech, voice cloning, and sound effects. To make things easier, you can use an agent, type what you want, and the agent is gonna build it for you. So if you're creating content and experimented with AI, this is definitely worth checking it out. Link in the description. Big shout out to Thank You AI for sponsoring this video. Now back to original video. I did a quick test before this project and I noticed that while the shadows looks fine here, once I brought the footage into Unreal Engine, it fell way too dark. So I decided to do a bit of color correction. Here's a quick before and after comparison. Now from here, we are going to use the photogrammetry software Reality Capture. This step is needed to align the images and start rebuilding the entire location you capture into a digital format. But there is a small problem. Reality Capture does not work with 360 images. For that, we are going to use a tool called Portable 360 Toolkit. Big thank you for the creator for making such a useful tool. I'll leave the link in the description. This tool helps us break the 360 video into 2D images and then splits those images into 8 individual frames. It sounds very complicated, but trust me, it's very simple. I will show you and it's gonna make more sense. Download the tool from the link in the description. Open the folder and double-click Start GUI. A terminal will open along with a window for FFmpeg and Alice Vision, and drag your MP4 file into the first option. After that, all you need to do is press Extract Frames. A new folder will be created with all the 2D images. For reference, I ended up with around 200 frames for this project. The next step is to drag the folder we just created into the second box. I'll keep the number of splits at 8 and the resolution at 1200, and I'll change the FOV UV to 120. Then just click Run Split. A new folder will be created and each 2D images will be split in 8 individual images. So in my case, from 198 to 100 images, I ended up with around 1584. Reality Capture now understands these files and we are ready to align the images. Inside Epic Games, you should see an options for reality capture on the top. If you see the launch button here, you're good to go. After you open the app, there is not much that you can do. Just drag and drop the file with the split images. They will start loading and you might see a warning here. Just ignore it. It's because the software doesn't recognize the camera sensor. Then go to the alignment tab and click Align Images. Then that's pretty much it. Reality capture is fairly easy to use. This process take a bit of a time since we are working with around 16,000 images. For me, it took about 45 minutes to complete the alignment. Once it's done, you should see a point cloud of the environment along with the camera alignment showing the path you walked while capturing the street. From here, it's a good idea to save the project just in case you need to go back to it. Next, we need to export the cold map data so we can create a Gaussian splatting. To do that, go to the Workflow tab, click Export, and the export window will pop up. Choose cold map as the format. Then navigate to your working directory and create a new folder called cold map. Another window will appear. The main thing you need to change it is export images. By default, it comes to no, but you need to change it to yes. Once you've done that, a new section will appear and make sure that the path from the top matches the one below. Both links should point into the same location. And now we are ready to go to the next step to train the Gaussian splats. In today's video, we are going to use Lichtfeld Studio because it's completely free and delivers really good quality. Check the link in the description to download the software. Now remember all the data we made it in Reality Capture. This is where we are going to use it. Drag the entire folder cold map into the Lichtfeld Studio, click Load Images, and you should instantly see your scene appearing in the viewport. At this stage, there is not much to tweak. Just hit Start Training and let it run. It does take some time, so be patient. Once that's done, congrats! You just now converted your 360 camera into a Gaussian splat that you can bring it in a real engine and start creating your own game. If you're happy with the results, go to File, Export, choose PLY format and save it. Now, I already done this test before and I can tell you that we need to clean some parts of the Gaussian splats. In my case, I removed the floor and the cars because I wanted to build my own street that would cast proper shadow, and for that part I use Splat Editor. In the Splat Editor, go to File, Import, and select the file you exported from Lichtfeld, then click OK. Use the selection tool at the bottom and start masking the parts you don't want. So I removed the streets, the cars, and I was planning to replace them with the Quixel assets later. Once you've done cleaning everything up, just export it again. Before we move on to Unreal Engine, I just want to say thank you for watching. I really want to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and you are the only one who can help me. Let's make it happen. Back to the video. When I build this project, I use Unreal Engine 5.2 together with Luma AI plugin. To get the plugin, go to Fab, search for Luma AI, and you should find it straight away. On the right side, just click Install Plugin. Once you're inside Unreal Engine, go to Edit, Plugins, type Luma, enable the plugin, and restart the project. Now comes the fun part. If you drag and drop the PLY file into Unreal Engine, you'll see that Unreal Engine accepts this type of data and you can place the blueprint directly into the viewport. And just like that, your Gaussian splatting is directly in Unreal Engine. How crazy is that? Now this environment is a Gaussian splat, so it doesn't have any collision by default. To fix that, I built a simple layout using cubes and planes, placing them just behind the buildings. This helps block any see-through areas and also gives us a basic collision for the game. Next, I created a simple road using assets from Quixel Bridge. This makes sure that the character always has a solid surface to walk, run, and play on without falling through the space. You can clearly see the buildings and now the street that I built on top. Nothing complicated, these are just Quixel assets and you can download them for free. Moving on, I created sidewalks for each side of the street, pretty much using the same approach. This helps the scene feel more grounded and realistic, and also added a few electrical boxes on the corners and some traffic props. To keep the player inside the map, I placed a few blocks at the edges, and finally I added a couple of parked cars on the street to give it a sense of more realistic street. And once we make the Gaussian splatting visible in the scene, that's when we get an amazing environment built from real footage. For lighting, I kept things very simple. I added a directional light to light up the street, and then I used exponential height fog to bring in some atmosphere and haze, which makes everything looks more cinematic. On top of that, I added sky atmosphere and sky light to bring in a bit of more detail and balance the lighting. At this point, I was really happy how everything got together, but there was one important step missing. To add our character, go to add, then add content project, and choose either the third person or the first person template, and just like that you can jump into the scene and start playing. That's pretty much what I wanted to share with you today. I made another dedicated video using the same approach but using post shot. If you want to see that, I'll leave a link in the description. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really enjoy making these videos. If you enjoy this type of content, please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.